Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Scott Carter. I am a licensed therapist here in the beautiful state of Utah. Welcome to my channel. I am, like I said, a private practice therapist. You're looking at my office. There's the couch. It's where all the magic happens, right? It's where all the deep, dark things that people talk about right over there. They think they're deep and dark, and it's not. Rarely is, but so some of my specialties, mostly I focus on teens, teen issues, parents, parenting issues with family therapy. I really like for kids to get along with their parents and have good relationships with their parents. And I really decided to make some of these online videos in response to the ever-growing suicide epidemic that we have in our country. We have major problems. Here locally, in my local area, here in Utah, our suicide rates, I think, have more than doubled in the last 5 years. I just saw a report last night. I don't know how recent it is. I should have looked at it, but it said that it's up another 50%. I don't know what time frame that is, but here in Utah, we are more than double the national average. Okay, so my goal is to help parents and teens have a better working relationship and try and iron out some of these issues that I feel like are exacerbating the problems. Right now, and by right now, I don't mean like right this second, but these days, the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking a lot about perfectionism and how, at least here in my local area, we have a big problem. I feel like a big contributing problem is the idea of perfectionism. People don't think in this way that, oh, I expect things to be perfect, but when you break it down, it's like they do. Like, I've encountered parents that have this, they're really upset, for example, that their kid has had some issues at school. And like I've asked them, like, is this typical? They normally had these types of issues at school. Well, no, they're usually a really good kid. Like, so this is the first time that he or she has really had any major problems. Well, yeah, but we expect better. And I don't know that you expect better. I think that you expect perfection. And I feel like it's important to address this almost zero tolerance policy of perfectionism that we seem to have for our kids, especially in my local area. It's like a zero tolerance policy. Kids are not allowed to have problems. Kids are not allowed to have issues. This is a complex system. This is a complex issue. It's not black and white. It's not simple. It's not easy. It's not straightforward. But there are reasons why kids have problems. Sometimes it's a symptom and not a problem. Sometimes they act out because that's the best way to get attention. Sometimes they act out because they're struggling in other areas, especially the younger ones. Like, if you have a 12-year-old that's having some behavior problems, it's possible maybe they're just being picked on at school and they're acting out and they're rebelling and they're breaking rules because that's how they're trying to cope with it and that's kind of how they're trying to deal with it. That's a possibility. I see that happen. But what I really want to say, though, is that I like the problem kids. I like the kids that are acting out. I do, man. I like them. Maybe it's because they kind of remind me of me when I was young. I struggled. I had some issues. But if I see a kid who's having some problems or is having issues, I would really want to challenge people out there to maybe take another glance at these behavior problems and what it means about your kid, because we kind of look at behavior problems as like, you're having behavior problems and stop it. And here's this neat little box. I'm gonna get a box. Here's a neat little box. It's tissues. It's therapy office. Of course I have tissues. Fit in this box. Do not get out of this box, right? And the kids who have problems, to me, are the kids that have the greatest potential to do some really amazing things in life. And here's why. The kids that have zero problems are the kids that are afraid to color outside the lines. They're the kids who don't want to make waves or make splashes. They don't take risks. They don't think big. They're usually ruled by fear. They don't want to step outside the lines and have it turn into something really catastrophic for them. But the kids who push the limits, who push back, who have behavior problems, those are the kids who have, if you ask me, the potential to do some really, really awesome stuff later in life. To me, those kids don't need to be like whipped into shape. They need to be harnessed and pointed in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like, if a kid is having trouble at school with a teacher, for example, well, to me, that can be an indicator that this is a kid who's willing to stand up for himself. This is a kid who is willing to speak their mind, fight back, push back, question authority. And granted, there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. There's a productive way and a non-productive way to do it. But to me, the kid who's willing to push the boundaries is the kid that has the potential to really accomplish great things in life, because he or she is willing to push the limits and push the envelope and look past whatever given lines they have in their life, right? And so I'd really, really like it. I think it'd be really positive. Maybe we took a different approach to kids who have problems, teenagers who are acting out. And I've said this before. I had one teenager say to me that it's like, if your 7-year-old came home with a scraped knee, you wouldn't punish them, you wouldn't restrict them, you wouldn't just, you're in trouble, give me your phone now. You would help them. You would pick them up. You would comfort them. You would teach them what's wrong, what happened, right? You would support them. So what is the teenage equivalent of scraped knees? And sometimes behavior problems are an indicator of that. I mean, if a kid is being picked on, they may act out, and that's their equivalent of a scraped knee if they're a teenager. There could be a lot of things going on, but I also encourage parents to maybe take a look at how they approach all the problems. Because I see more and more, if there's any kind of issue, first thing we do is, how do we punish? Let's punish and restrict. This is exactly why kids are not going to their parents, because they know that if they have any kind of problem or any kind of issue, that they're just going to get punished. That's not always appropriate. I think there are a lot of positive teaching moments when kids have problems. And so if the kid is acting out of school, if you take a teacher role instead of like a punishing role, I mean, naturally there are consequences, but I mean, that's kind of a different video, but effective consequence, whatever, right? Positive consequences that are, positive ways to put consequences into place. That's a whole other video, but anyways, you can teach them, or we should teach them positive ways to deal with, like, a kid comes home and says, got an issue with the teacher. Okay, what's going on? What is a better way to deal with her or him, that teacher? Well, the teacher said this to me. Okay, what did you say back? Is there something that you could have said instead, so that you and this teacher are not just, and you getting labeled as a problem child? Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I probably am not going to do as many videos on this channel. I have other channels. But if you like my content, I hope you'll support me. Patreon, you can send me support on PayPal, Cash, Venmo, all that good stuff. If you would like to support my nonprofit fighting teen suicide, look up the Resiliency Alliance, and you can help us do that as well. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.